Welcome to Corner Faster. My name is Nick Fontana, and this is a quick lap review of Palmer Motorsports Park in the reverse clockwise, aka Remlap direction or configuration. So we're going to get started by taking a look at the Google Maps satellite imagery for Palmer, and then we'll take a look at a couple YouTube onboard videos. And we're going to do just two things in this video. Number one, we're going to take a look at the safety features and the corner stations around the track. And then we're going to do a quick lap review with one tip for each corner, breaking the track down into several different sections with a couple key tips for each section. So with that being said, let's dive in. Looking at the corner stations at Palmer Motorsports Park in the Remlap direction, first place we'll start is the start-finish line, and just before that we've got the control tower. This is the first place. You'll see flags. It's visible pretty much right as you crest turn 1. And the next station is going to be on the outside of turn 14. We actually do count backwards the turn numbers in the Remlap configuration. They're not renumbered running clockwise. Anyway, the next station is turn 13. That's going to be at the apex on the left side, the inside of the track. And then turn 12 on the outside, the left side of the track, about a little more than halfway around, you'll see the next corner station. There is a corner station in view at really in turn 11, but it's actually another layer up the track, if you will. It's the corner station between turn 7 and 8, so don't get confused by that particular station. Again, it is up the hill. But the next station in this configuration is going to be on the outside of turn 10. And then after that, past the short straight into turn 9, most of the way through turn 9 on just as the track starts to go uphill again on the outside, you'll see the next corner station. Coming through turn 8 at the exit, in between turn 8 and turn 7, you got the next station. Most of the way around turn 7 on the left on the outside, and then most of the way around turn 6 on the right on the outside for the next couple stations. Coming down the hill into turn 5, straight ahead, you've got the station on the outside. And then on the outside of turn 4, there's a corner station. And then finally, on the outside of turn 3 is a corner station. Not quite visible at turn in, but about halfway around on the outside of turn 2 is a corner station. And then straight ahead, as you're driving into turn 1, on the outside of turn 1 on the left is the final corner station for the lap. Let's see what that looks like as we ride on board a Porsche Boxster, completely stock setup on street tires. And at start finish, we've got the first flagging station on the right, the control tower. Coming in turn 14, we can see on the outside the next station, and then the tires running along the outside of the track surface, and then again along the track wall. Got the turn 13 apex station. And these tires, they're really not going to stop the car from a big impact, but they are going to minimize, at least compared to old Palmer, if you will, many impacts. On the outside of turn 12, we've got our next corner station. You can see they're running around pretty much the entire track surface. Outside of turn 10, here we've got our next corner station. It's a particularly tricky section as we're transferring weight and increasing speed. Coming into turn 9 most of the way around on the outside, you could pick up the next corner station here. Turn 8 is another tricky corner. We're going to be passing weight back and forth, and we lose a lot of grip on the exit here. You can see the turn 7, turn 8 straightaway corner station on the left. And then as we go up the hill into turn 7, you can see the corner station on the left on the outside. And then on the outside of turn 6 on the right side of the track, got the next corner station. And it's easy to track out too early here. This is another high-speed section, so definitely keep an eye for this large pole, and you want to track out or aim to have your track out beyond that. If you're tracking out towards that, it's definitely going to be a little too early. And we got the corner station at turn 5. This is another tricky section. You're bombing downhill, and there's not a lot of runoff in the brake area, just the empty tires and then the concrete wall. Coming through the slower speed section, turn 5 and turn 4. On the outside of turn 4, we've got our next corner station. And then on the outside of turn 3, this is a fast section of the track. Coming into turn 2, again, just empty tires and a concrete wall. You can see the turn 2 corner station on the left here, and then the long white wall, which you can use as a reference point. Again, you don't want to track out before the end of that wall. Then we've got turn 1 corner station, and then we'll start the lap over again. So definitely not a lot of room for error at Palmer, although there are visible corner stations throughout the whole track. Just check with the track organizer to make sure, or the event organizer, I should say, to confirm which stations are going to be staffed or not for the day. Now that we've spent some time on the corner stations and safety features, let's take a look at each section of the track for a couple quick tips on how to carry speed. So the first tip, we'll take a look at turns 13, sorry, we'll take a look at 14, 13, and 12. Again, we're counting backwards here. And really, you just want to look at this whole thing. You can see it, it's basically the end of the straightaway, and you could treat it like a twisty braking zone where you're bleeding off a bit of speed into 14, a little bit more into 13, and a little bit more into 12. So the tip here is to not over brake for any of these corners and to make sure that you're not able to get back on the gas. That means you've overslowed. So you should only be able to get back on the gas just a little bit to settle the car in between each corner, but bleed off a bit of speed in 14, keep up as much momentum as you can, transfer the weight through 13, keep slowing the car down, and trail brake all the way into turn 12 here. Once you've trail braked into turn 12, it's a bit of an acceleration zone, and the next tip here is how to navigate the transition from turn 12 and 11 into 10. So as you're accelerating through 12 and into 11, you want to allow the car to arc out just a bit, and the reason is because you want to bring the car all the way to track right to set up turn 10. There's a little bit of a straightaway after turn 10, so we want to prioritize this corner and power all the way through it as much as we can. So we want the car all the way track right for turn in and fully settled before we actually make that turn in. So arrive a little bit early, get the car settled, and then turn it in. So let's watch how we swing out in turn 12 and then begin accelerating. Coming off the inside of the track just a little bit, straddling the seam to keep good camber, and then lining up all the way to the right for turn 10. You can see it opens the whole corner up. Now for turn 9, which is a bit of a horseshoe, there's more grip on exit as the track increases. So trail brake towards an early apex and then stick the car along the inside to take advantage of that camber before using all the track out. So trail brake to the inner half of the track where there's a lot more camber, run along the white line, and then track out up the hill. For turn 8, this is maybe the most dangerous corner on the track. It's a little bit blind, and there's a crest at apex, which unsettles the car. So the tip here is to line the car up as far left as possible and really make this corner as wide and smooth as possible. So coming out of turn 9, get all the way to the left to line up turn 8, even using the extra pavement, and then unwind the wheel from apex to exit. If you've got to put in more steering input, at that point, you're in big trouble. Now for turns 7 and turn 6, the tip is to prioritize the exit of turn 6 and get as much of a run down the hill as possible. So with a car without a lot of power like this Boxster, I can take a pretty aggressive approach to turn 7, apex somewhere lower on the hill, skip the second apex here, and just carry all that speed into turn 6. But depending on how much power you have, you may need to line up the second apex for turn 7 on the right side of the track to get a better run on a 6. But anyway, here's an example in a lower powered car, just missing the very first apex, but then apexing turn 7 about halfway up that hill, and then just letting it run out and carrying all that speed, wide open throttle, believe it or not, through turn 6. And of course, tracking out after that pole that's visible. Coming to turn 5, 4, 3. Got a tip for each. So the tip for turn 5 is to nail this patch of pavement that's been repaired over the years. And then coming into turn 4, carry enough momentum into turn 4 so that you can treat it like a double apex. Just miss this first apex, swing out, not even to mid-track, just enough to open up the angle for the second apex and run through the exit of turn 3 and turn 4. Turn 4 and turn 3. And when coming through turn 3, most cars are just wide open throttle, but some may need to compromise turn 4 to make it. So in turn 5, let's nail this patch pavement, and then we're going to track out most of the way and treat turn 4 like a slight double apex, slightly missing the first apex, making it tighter for the second. And then in a low powered car here, I can just hug the right side of the track at wide open throttle for turn 3. Almost done with the lap here, coming in turn 2 and turn 1. It's a long connected section. Coming into turn 2, you want to get the car turned in smooth and early. It's an early apex relative to the whole corner, but then the track gains elevation and the inside is still cambered. So maintain an arc that goes from this apex to this white line, staying on the right side of it, and then don't track out all the way until the end of this white fence on the left. And then the tip flowing right into turn 1 is that this extra pavement on the left side of the track is very useful to set up a nice wide trajectory through turn 1, with the last tip here being watch out for the grass. It pinches on exit, so just run over the grass if you are going long. Don't hit this wall to the inside that doesn't have tires. So let's see that on board as we come flying into turn 2 here. Getting in for an early apex and then hanging on the inside of the track where all the camber is, finally tracking out using the extra pavement and then flowing through turn 1. Being mindful of that exit and staying smooth onto that straightaway. Now that we've gone through the corner station, safety features, and a quick tip for each corner, let's just let an onboard lap play all the way through. Apologies for the sound. Hopefully you can get a sense for the line and what we're trying to do. And there you have it. That's a quick lap review at Palmer Motorsports Park in the Remlap direction. I hope you learned something from this video that you can take to your next track day at Palmer Motorsports Park in the Remlap direction. Subscribe and check out the rest of the Corner Faster YouTube channel for more tips like this one. And definitely check out Corner Faster Day. I'll be hosting a one-day event including racing, lapping, and a time trial at Palmer Motorsports Park. You can check it out at msreg.com/cornerfaster, or check out the online discussion on Facebook, facebook.com/groups/cornerfaster. I'll see you on track.